Are you feeling happy right now? Are you living in joy each day? What if you can attain everlasting happiness? Shakyamuni Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, teaches about happiness. All people in the world are seeking happiness, regardless of age, gender, race, ability, or wealth. Wherever and whenever we are, no matter what circumstance we are in, we all live to attain happiness and try to avoid pain or suffering. Happiness can be defined in many ways, but it is not something material, but spiritual, such as joy, comfort, excitement, or satisfaction. For example, we seek money, but we are not seeking money itself. We seek money because we believe when we have more money, we can lead a more comfortable and joyful life, which we believe brings us peace of mind and satisfaction. If we thought getting more money leads to uncomfortable and frustrating life, we would never want money. We study, work, take care of children, have hobbies, train our body, or spend time with family or friends in pursuit of happiness. Even those who commit suicide are seeking happiness because they are trying to get away from unbearable suffering and pain in life. All human activities such as politics, economics, medicine, science, the arts, or sports exist for human happiness. Thanks to the great progress of science technology, our lives have become incredibly convenient. But how about the sense of happiness? Every year, more than 700,000 people in the world take their own life, and many more attempt suicide. Life is suffering. This was the first teaching of Shakyamuni Buddha after he became a Buddha about 2,600 years ago. But human beings have still been suffering even now. Why is happiness so unattainable, even though all people are desperately pursuing it every day? To answer this question, Buddhism reveals 4 natures of human happiness. The natures of happiness you are about to hear will be so harsh and discouraging that you might not want to know. But the Buddha encourages us to accept the reality as it is, because by doing so, you can move forward toward true happiness. So I'd like you to hear it to the end. The nature of happiness number 1. Our happiness is relative. The happiness we are seeking every day, such as the joy of being with someone we love, the satisfaction of buying what we want, the excitement of being successful in our job, or any other kind of happiness that we are longing for and living for, is all relative. We feel those kinds of happiness by comparing what we have with what others have or what we had in the past. Depending on what we compare it with, we can have a sense of happiness or unhappiness. We feel joy when we have more money or higher status or better looks or greater skills or talent than other people or than what we had before. In contrast, when we see someone more fortunate or more blessed than us, or when we had more or better things in the past, we feel miserable and frustrated and cannot feel happiness anymore. So, relative happiness fluctuates based on comparison. That happiness is always unstable and can turn into despair at any moment. The nature of happiness number 2. Our happiness is fleeting. Even if you get married to the person you love, the joy and satisfaction of marriage fade or disappear as time goes. Or no matter how much you love your partner, you might lose your spouse due to some accident or disease. The more you love somebody or something, the more pain you feel when you lose. Relative happiness can easily turn into pain. If you get promoted to a position you've wanted, you are sure to have joy and excitement. But that sense of happiness is temporary. The higher position or status is accompanied by more responsibility or expectation from others, which probably gives you more pressure and stress. Or you may need to be desperate to defend your position or status. That is the beginning of another pain. Sakyamuni Buddha taught this as having and not having are the same. Sakyamuni said, "He who has no field is distressed and wishes for one. He who has no house is distressed and wishes for one. He who owns a field is distressed about the field, and he who owns a house is distressed about the house." It is no different with horses and other livestock, servants, money and treasure, food and clothing, and household goods. Having and not having are the same. The same principle applies to all kinds of possessions. If you don't have a child, you want one. But once you have a child, you'll be troubled and worried about the child. We can say people who have abound with chains of gold, while people who don't have abound with chains of iron. Whatever material the chains are made of, the suffering they cause is equally real. Shakyamuni Buddha's words, "Having and not having are the same," teach us the fleeting nature of relative happiness. The nature of happiness number 3. Our happiness is ruined by our desires. When we don't have something, we want it. But even when we get it, we want more and more. We soon find something is missing and start complaining and seeking something or somebody else. We want money, we want status, we want fame, we want love, we want excitement, we want comfort. The list is endless. We'll never be satisfied or never have a heartfelt contentment for life. The nature of happiness number 4. Our happiness is all lost when we die. This is a primary reason why we can't feel happiness from the bottom of our heart. Even if our life continues without calamity, in the face of death, anything and anybody in this world will become meaningless. When we stand before death, nothing provides us with joy or comfort. Because of these natures of human happiness, we constantly have fear of loss, anxiety, and discontent. However, you don't have to get depressed with this reality. Sakyamuni Buddha taught us the natures of relative human happiness and encouraged us to attain true happiness, which is called absolute happiness. In contrast to relative happiness, absolute happiness is everlasting happiness that will never fade or crumble, even when you get old, even when you get sick, or even in the face of death. The happiness is absolute, so you don't need to compare it to feel joy. If you have something, you'll be happy, But even when you don't have anything, your happiness doesn't change at all. No people, no disease, no accidents, nobody or nothing can distract your happiness. You have lasting peace of mind and lasting satisfaction, and you are constantly filled with great joy that lasts forever. Is there such everlasting happiness in this world? Yes, there is. The Buddha teaches us the existence of absolute happiness, which is the very purpose of life for people of all times and places. But don't misunderstand. Buddha didn't say relative happiness is useless or meaningless or we must abandon that happiness. On the contrary, any kinds of relative happiness are important to attain absolute happiness. Relative happiness is not a purpose of life, but a means of life, which is indispensable for us to go on living. So, even when your life is so painful, even when everything seems to be going against you, even when you feel this world is unfair, don't give up on your life. Once you achieve the purpose of life, all your suffering is repaid. Every tear you have shed comes back to you as a pearl. Congratulations! You've moved one step forward to true happiness. In another video, you can learn more about absolute happiness and how to attain it. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions. Your feedback gives us energy to continue this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful life.